Welcome back, viewers! And it's a rainy day here in Cornwall, England, where I'm recording this voiceover. Now, what are the odds of that raining in England? I know what you're thinking. It has been relentless this year. But I do believe in this video it's actually sunny outside. How delightful! So this past week I have been prepping, getting ready to paint, finally. So excited to be decorating this room. So we've already painted the ceiling white, so this is the last bit of white that I need to do. Now I've decided that this dress is my painting dress. The sleeves have ripped on it and I've got a big rip up the side, so it's not going to last much longer. Might as well paint in it. So this week we reached 4,000 viewing hours. Oh my god, amazing. Thanks so much. Now I must warn you in advance, this room is not going to be fully decorated. There's not going to be a big reveal. There's not going to be a transformation this week. But you will see a difference. There will be a little difference. You will notice throughout the video that I use Dulux paint every time. Years and years of experience has taught me that my time is worth a lot more than the money it costs. So I am willing to pay a little bit extra for quality paint. And I have tried all of the shops, all of the different brands, and even over time, I have realised that they have started watering down their paint so it doesn't even cover as much as it used to do. Now I am decorating the whole downstairs this year. And I decided to do the front room first because, believe it or not, this is the easiest room to start with. The other rooms have so much mould to clean off. I'm putting them off. And I think I need to get a good mask because I've been dealing with so much mold in this house lately. It's got to start affecting my health soon. Last week my son's room needed a complete clean. It was getting so moldy up there. 2 outer walls make the room really cold, and so the mold just grows really quickly. And even with plenty of ventilation, I still had a headache at the end of it. It was brutal. I used a great product called Astonish Mold and Mildew. And it's really good. You can spray it on, and after a few minutes, the mold starts melting away. So I just do 1 coat first, leave it for 5 minutes, and then come back, spray it again, and scrub. And all the mold cleans away. But please do leave me your tips on how to deal with mold and maybe how to keep it at bay. My son also has a storage heater which is on at the moment, but that only comes on in the morning about 6 o'clock. And lasts for half the day really, so it's missing the evenings when it really needs to be warm. So here you'll notice that I've started on the dado rail first. Much easier to cut in on the walls than to cut in with the dado rail after painting the walls. Definitely learned that from experience. And as you might have picked up by now, I do learn the hard way. I have to experience things. I have to do the things hands-on before I learn things. Now this room has driven me mad since we moved in. It's pretty much a glorified hallway. It has 3 doors, it has a chimney, 2 alcoves, and it has this chunking everywhere, absolutely everywhere. All around the ceiling. 2 spots, it's coming down the wall as well. So been really hard to just decorate and make it feel cozy. But I have figured out a method. So we put this dado rail up, and that has made all the difference, because I tried painting whole walls and having like a paper feature wall, and it just didn't work. It didn't feel cozy. It still felt like vast spaces of painted wall. Too much. So now I paint the bottom and paper the top, but I only paper the easy bits, the flat bits. And I paint the chunking, because then the chunking frames the wallpaper and it frames the room, and it kind of looks good. And I also, there's so many nooks and crannies in here, like this little weird alcove bit on the way to the kitchen. So I just paper the walls that are easy, and then I paint the rest of the walls. And the wall bit around the door and the windows, the patio door, I paint that as well, because that kind of frames the door. And I have wallpapered the whole upper part before, and it was such a headache trying to manipulate the wallpaper to go on the chunking or to go around the corners. And I just thought, no, I'm gonna make my life easier. I'm gonna adapt it like this. Now the hardest part for me to paper is just the little alcove where the shelves are. And you can't really notice any mistakes that I made, because it's all like covered up with wood and ornaments and books and stuff. So, you know, I don't have to be perfect on that little bit. I find that painting the dado rail is really satisfying. Just cleans it right up. And it's so satisfying painting colour next to a white dado rail. Lovely. This cream colour has been great for allowing me to see the blank canvas and just wait to be inspired on what colours and paper I could use. But it's really no good for handprints. And my son has been scratching these corners. Like, I'm sure he's stimming. But he's been scratching these corners, and I had to sand the walls so that I could paint and have just some form of smooth wall there. I think I'm going to get him one of those cat scratching posts for Christmas. I think he'd really enjoy that. Oh, look at the glorious sun pouring in through the windows. So inviting and warm. I really hate prepping for decorating. I just want to paint over everything. There's always so much fillering to do. Every time I go to a room, there's holes everywhere and there's pieces crumbling. You might notice in the background there's some cardboard outside. My son has been helping me to break up the cardboard by smashing it around. Really good exercise and really good for getting that frustration out. much easier to cut in the windowsills before I paint the walls. I used to really enjoy using gloss and having that real smooth, thick finish, but there's just no way that it would dry anywhere near in time for Memphis to come along and put his big hands all over everything and smudge everything. So I use satin paint now, satin wood, and it's not bad, and you can go over it as many times you want and it doesn't mess up. It dries really quick, so it's really useful. And if you get any on the walls, it's not a big deal. It's not going to be there forever and ever, like when you colour over a crayon with pen. Yeah, that's the whole drama with gloss. This paintbrush has stuck by me through thick and thin. Every time I paint now, I use the same paintbrush, and I just wash it out and leave it in a jar of water on the kitchen windowsill, and it's perfect. Okay, so the big reveal, what colour will we be painting the front room? Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Now I haven't even seen this colour yet, so that was a reveal to me as well. When I opened the pot, obviously not on this video, that would be silly. Now I was a bit dubious at first because this colour looks a lot like the colour in my bathroom, but thankfully it dries a lot darker. But it looks delicious, don't you think? I really love how the sun is making this room look so warm. But the colour just looks dirty to me. And you can see on the door frame there, Memphis has got a new habit of bringing in mud from the outside and splodging it all over the door frame. So that's lovely. I'm really loving this colour, but I'm already noticing that this paint isn't spreading like it used to. We're gonna need another pot. And this makes me so sad because I wanted to finish this room this week. No! I have noticed that a lot of people cut in first and roll after. I have realised that if you roll as close as you can to the edge, you save a lot more paint, and then you can cut in after and not use as much to cut in. So that's my method. So in this room, I start the wallpaper right here. So I paint this little bit, and then the first piece of wallpaper goes on that corner. Now, back in the day when I first started painting, I used to splatter it everywhere. My arms would be completely covered in splatters. But thankfully, I have vastly improved my technique, and now I am very much less messy. A little hack that I do now is that I cover the painting tray with the carrier bag, so then I don't have to clean the tray after. Because I often use, well, I always use matte paint now because my walls are always so moist that matte paint is the best type for coverage. And it is really difficult to clean a tray after you've used matte paint. Yep, so these are the little bits that I refuse to use paper on now. Way too tricky. And I know that if one little piece of wallpaper is not very securely fixed to the wall, Memphis is just going to rip it off. So, and the mold is back in the corner. We cleaned it up in the springtime and it's back. It didn't take long and it didn't matter that the weather is warmer. So there is a wasp trying to escape. So I just get the doors open and let him out. Yes, all the dirty walls are disappearing. Just love it when that happens. There you see, framing the door and the windows. Oh, cutting in. This is one of my favourite parts. This is a super awkward part and it's bumpy all the way down. It's not even a straight edge. Such a pain in the butt. Oh, you'll notice that I don't use tape anywhere because there are no straight edges in this house. So what's the point? Plus, it's another thing to do and it's no point. It's too much. And I've got a pretty steady hand. I don't need any tape. You might be noticing there's a camping toilet in the hallway. Well, that's because my son Memphis, he's actually trying to toilet train at the moment. The local council have decided to take away prescription nappies, so I'm kind of making a big effort to get him out of nappies by April. That's when they're cancelling the nappies. So I think a lot of parents of children who use these nappies, they're going to be pretty stuck when it comes to April. I may even set up an Amazon wish list to have people donate packs of nappies and then I can give them out or even sell them half price or something to also raise money for us and provide a little service. You're just going to see me do one coat today. I did do 2 coats, but I didn't want to make the video astronomically long or ridiculously fast as well. I did lose 2 stone by the spring when I did the pond video, but now half of it's come back on, and I'm blaming the cookies. Oh my gosh, they are so good, especially the purple double chocolate ones from Aldi. Wow, I just love dunking them in the Cadbury's hot chocolate. So yeah, definitely been off the wagon for a little while, although not as bad as I used to be. I've still managed to keep a stone off. And so I have just started fasting in the morning and then cutting the bread out. Even though I love my bacon and egg sandwiches, I'm just going to stick with bacon and eggs and see where that gets me. See if I get some quick changes that can give me that dopamine to keep me going. Which I think actually is a good little transition to tell you a YouTuber that I watch, which is Homestead How. And this channel has really exploded in the last year or so with their carnivore diet revelations. And you'll be interested to check it out if you're thinking about your health and how you can improve it, and just trying to be a natural human and get off the medication that is way overprescribed. And as we're coming to the end of the video, last 5 minutes, I thought I might mention all the pages that I am in charge of, and it all helps with the fundraising. Maybe you can support us through that on Facebook. So it's Lamreth Village Hall, Lamreth Village Shop and Post Office. Memphis and Friends is our main charity. Community interest company actually. Spectrum Stuff is on Facebook, and Vickery's Events is our business that decorates events and plans events, but all the money from that business goes into Memphis and Friends. So yeah, I made a network, let's just say that. Thanks very much. And what I'm up to with all those pages is building a community around my kids so that eventually we can have a village to look after my son, Memphis, for when I'm gone. You might have heard me talking about an event that we've got coming up. We are planning a tabletop sale during the day and a barn dance at night. I've booked a company to come in and teach us some line dancing. I did line dancing as a kid in primary school and I really enjoyed it, so that's going to be really fun for me. And we're just looking for a DJ and some bands, and it's going to be great. We've pulled the community together and all the little groups are contributing, and it's really it's an inspiring time for me, definitely. So today I am off delivering posters to all the different local shops, and there's going to be so many transitions and so many different talking parts to all sorts of strangers, and I may even pluck up the courage to ask for donations for our raffle. But definitely the hardest part of organising events for me is doing the posters and talking to people. I easily drain when I'm doing those things. My ideal part in organising events is sitting behind the keyboard doing numerous emails. That is the best bit about it. You can get so many things organised and done just by sending emails out to all different people. Long gone are the days of phone calls where I could get conned into anything because I would just say yes to everything. Not helpful. Although it does still happen when I see people face to face, that's when they get me. Must say though, narrating these videos has really encouraged me to speak in full sentences. Believe it or not, I really struggled to before. Very good at listening, not too good at storytelling and actually making conversation. Very good at my one-liners. I've done a lot of practice with my one-liners and just having like little phrases to say and little reaction words as well, which I do change quite a lot. I rotate them because repetition just gets on my nerves as well. And if I hear myself saying things too often, then I actually start annoying myself as well. Thinking of the fancy Christmas dress that's coming, I have been chewing my cheeks a lot lately, and lip picking is something that I really love to do as well. Now, it is a sign of dehydration, but I'm good with that. I do find that I'm a very subtle stimmer, which is probably why most people don't know that I'm autistic. Before we go, I want to tell you about some wins that we've had lately. I have taken the kids out and we have socialised quite a few times in the last few weeks. We've done Halloween trick-or-treating. We've been to a few fireworks displays. And last night I took Memphis to my local pub after we walked around the football pitch a few times. And then he wanted a drink, and I was like, we're going to go in the pub and we're going to have a drink. And he sat at the table and he was adorable. And he was just, there's a little bit of room for him to run up and down. And he was just doing that and he didn't get overwhelmed. And there was a little bit of noise. It wasn't busy. And he did pick up the snooker balls, which frightened me a bit because there was a TV nearby. But he managed, he didn't have a meltdown, and he listened to, well, he followed my instructions and my gestures, and it was a nice little start. So I'm really proud of the kids lately. They've been doing a lot of socialising, and they've been very well behaved, and I know it uses a lot of energy for them as well. So I'm very proud of them and hopeful that we can build on it and we can do more as a family and get out more and, yeah, do those things. So just using the last scraps of the paint just to cover this wall. It's been drying out for a couple of days since I cleaned the mould off. And it's generally a very cold, wet wall anyway. Now I am off to do the weekly shop. See you later.